Good morning, everyone. My name is Tobani Magangla. I'm a literary evangelist from the Western Cape. I've been doing this ministry for this past 17 years. Today, I'll be presenting on how to solve heart-to-heart as an art of communication. When I do a presentation on this, I'm used two approach. The first approach is on a groups or churches, or you can do corporate presentation. The second one is for individual family presentation. I'll be mixing the two, but what is very important is that before you do a presentation, particularly if you're doing a presentation in the group setup, you need to have what I call pre-engagement activities. That means you are seeking for appointment. It's either through the referral or through going to the company. Some company request you to do what they call portfolio. Then you can present your portfolio or proposal to the company. Then you show them the kind of topic that you are discussing. Then from there, they give an opportunity. And secondly, this is also to help you as a person to know exactly what you want to present in that company. Thirdly, once you go to the company, you need to make sure that everything is up to pace. Your presentation is polished according to the context of the company, according to the research that you have done. And secondly, on the day of engagement, it's very important, it's wisely that you check up all the tools prior the day before. And also, you need to get to your bed as early as possible so that tomorrow you can wake up while you're not tired yet. That day, you need to get a very good breakfast because you need the energy because this is a hard work for you. You need to do the best as you can. And secondly, put the best attire on that day, even the one that probably used on Sabbath, so that you can look very professional and corporate while you're working. For me, the best attire you can do, if you can take blue and white or black and white, those are the best corporate attire you can use so that they don't suggest a lot of things. Freshen yourself up, put the best perfuming so that when you're there, at least the order that you have is the best one. And then it's very vital that before you go there, you do what you reconfirm your appointment prior so that you know exactly the company is still in the same stance and as you agree prior. And also be on time on the day when you arrive. You need to set up your tools in order so that if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, everything is in order before the audience come in. It's very important. And then also freshen your face, with smile. Your countenance should be changed. It should show that you are there for the best. You are there to make them to feel that it's worthy for them to spend their time. Meanwhile, sit down and take a position before you come in and pray, deep down in your heart. What is very important when you're given a platform, the first thing that is very important, to introduce yourself and your company and briefly outline what your company does. In this case, and I will exactly, to introduce, in a very easy way. Normally, the way I'm introducing myself, I tell myself, my name is Tobani Magangla. I'm from Home Health Education Service. I'm working as a lifestyle coach. And then what is home health education is all about? It focuses on the well-being of human being in a holistic way. That is mental, physical, spiritual, as well as social. What we do at Home Health Education Service, we do services such as health management program, people skills management, presentation, we do conflict resolution management, we also do highly effective marriage enrichment. We also do character building in children, teenager guidance, more focused on the healthy self-esteem of a teenager, spiritual enrichment. We also do stress management, series, positive brain and health stomach, as well as smart parenting. All these services, we offer them in two categories or in two ways. One, we do on a 30 minutes free presentation. Secondly, we also do in a book format. And what I discovered that in South Africa, a lot of companies, they spend a lot of money hiring people to do some jokes or to do some motivation because they discover that most of the employees, they are very distressed. They don't cope. They don't have a coping mechanism to stand with the stress, with the pressure at work. So they ask, these presenters to come to offer these services. And I found it's a good opportunity for us from Home Health Education Service to utilize this. So most of the times when I go to company, I entitle my presentation as people skills or soft skills. What I mean by people skills, I mean that it can be defined as the best ability to communicate effectively and efficiently, and also in the personal level, and as well how to manage conflict very well positively, how to work productively with others and find solutions in their problems, and also reach an agreement. Do you know that 85% of the people skills is what makes the success of the employees in the company? If people skills is not there, company don't make it. And all these skills, they need to be learned. And it's easy, and they can be developed only as we learn. What I discover is that the best thing to do that is to read books, is to spend time in presentation like this so that you can learn a lot. What's very surprising is that according to Statistics South Africa, on the rate of divorce, I discovered that from the year 2012, the rate of divorce has increased in South Africa by 5%. Research lately, in around 2014, they found that 40% of South Africans, they took moral objection on the issue of divorce, meaning that the issue of divorce is getting very high. And what happened is that divorce, it begins at home, and also these people also come to work, their employees, so they're affected. And then the question that you might ask while they're sitting there, what is the causing of this? Why people get divorced? It's because one aspect, one thing, the biggest problem is communication. For the sake of that reason, I will just stipulate some 4 major reasons that cause couples, to have the problem of communication. Communication breakdown it's another problem. Number 2, loss of shade in terms of goals and interests. Also, sexually incompatibility is also another problem. Also, infidelity within the couples, it caused that problem. And as well, excitement and fun gone away from the relationship that they have. Money is another element. And the conflict over children, it's also the issue of alcohol and drug abuse, as well as women's rights issues. The last, in-laws, they can contribute a lot. But however, communication, the happiness of the couple can be measured to a large degree by effectiveness of their communication. How a couple communicates is one of the best powerful factors affecting success or failures of their relationship. So it's very important for them to understand the art of communication. That is why at Home Health Education Service, we discovered that it is not a distance that keeps people apart, but the lack of communication. So communication, it is vital, is an art that needs to be mastered. One of the things that cause people to have a problem, according to the book that I'm carrying, is the issue of lack of understanding temperaments. The theory of temperament is a long way. We discovered there are 4 types of temperament. One of the temperament that is very common to everyone is the issue of sanguine. Sanguine are a kind of people like myself. They're very talkative. They can talk from morning up to sunset without stopping. But what is very interesting about them, they're easygoing, and they like easy things to go. And they're friendly to people, they're extrovert and so forth. But you also get kind of temperaments which are choleric. These ones are more manipulative, more bossy, and so forth. And also you get other category which are called phlegmatic. Those ones, they're more of relaxed. They like to do decision lately. They suffer with indecisive. And the last one is melancholy. What is very important, once you understand the type of the temperament, it helps you as a person to know exactly how to do communication in a very efficient and effective way. In this book, it shows, if you go to the page of this book, very first, it says, understanding and being understood, they're 2 different things. Most people, they want to be understood, but they don't want to understand other people. But once you know your temperament, it helps you to understand and also to help you to do, more effective with the issue of communication. Another element that is very important when it comes to couple is the issue which I call bonding within the couple. It is very important for them to understand bonding is a pathway to intimacy. And bonding is a basic human need that we need as a human being. For instance, child-parenting bonding is very important. It helps them so that they can shape their understanding, their belonging, their sense of belonging. And also, marriage are the basis of family and the society. In other words, bonding is one of the very powerful things. The problem is that people, they are lacking, they have what I call listening blabbers. If you go to this book, it shows you the kind of listening blabbers most of them, you get people who are interrupting and listeners, and also lack of focus, people who are bored listeners, selective listeners, as well as defensive listeners, and also insensitive listeners. For instance, once there's a conversation just taking place in the house, as soon as you mention the issue of the money, everything changes because those folks are very, insensitive and also selective in talking. Listening is very important. It's very vital that in communication, you listen with your eyes, you listen with your head, you listen with your hands, you listen with your mouth, also you listen with your body. Above all, you need to listen with your mind. With totality, it's very important, but listening. Because if you don't listen, at the end of the day, it's going to be a quarrel that leads to anger and also to conflict. And anger is one of the things, and that you need to understand the art of fighting in a very constructive way. But most people, they fight in a very, destructive way. Is when they lose the issue of communication. Officially, communication skills are very important to learn because they will help you to know and to know how to respond when it comes to anger. This book, it defines the issue, the pattern of responding in anger. For instance, page 86, it shows precisely that some people, they suppress anger, some people, they express anger, some people, they repress anger. But none of these are good method. But according to this manual, the best method you can use when you come to anger is what I call a processed anger. Most of us, we grow up in South Africa. Most times we understand, we eat a food that is processed food. For an example, the baked beans. They are cooked somewhere, then later they are dished to you. That is how we need to master the issue of anger, to process anger in a very effective way. Then later, when it comes to conflict now, we'll have a way of fighting because we understand the way of processing anger. Fighting style such as competitors, the reason why they are fighting. Some of the fighters, they are avoiders. Some of the fighters, they are compromisers. Some of the fighters, they are collaborators. It's very important because you understand why you need to do that. Some of them are accommodators. What they do, they accommodate you so that they can be able to do communication effectively. This is what happened. If you don't know fighting style, you don't understand how to process anger, it's also affecting your sexual intimacy. And there are certain ways that you need to boost and also to enhance your sexual intimacy as a couple. Out of all, what we're bringing as a home health education service, the challenges that has to do with communication, it is very important to understand that there is still a place of hope, I call, because God should be the foundation in terms of communication. As a man and woman, once we know that, the more we come closer to God, both of us, is the more the foundation of our communication become much easier. God is the solution into our happiness. But above all, the question that I want to impose to the audience, what I want to ask, how well do you communicate as a person in terms of family setup, at work? How does you communicate? And secondly, how well do you understand your partner, your colleague, your friend, your child when he talks with you so that you can listen and understand? Thirdly, are you a good lover? The lover that communicate, that understand, that process the anger, that know how to do conflict effectively. The best tool that you need to use is heart to heart. This book is the best book that can help you to understand the way of doing communication effectively so that you can master. It's what I'm bringing to you. At a very reasonable price, you can get it because communication is an art that you need to master and is possible. Thank you very much. All right. Of course, as you mentioned, analysis, when you look down to this presentation, it varies where you're doing. If you are approaching the couple, of course, you'll do it differently because, number one, you need to understand the needs of the family. For instance, it was last week on Monday, it was public holiday. There was this woman who I got a referrals, but she was a divorcee. And then I was asked to go and present the issue of communication because a friend of mine was very impressed the way we do to solve this book. And I was wondering how I'm going to, to present the issue, these principles from this book. Then as I arrived there, I narrated about the principle you get from this book, that this book is there to help you as a person to understand the communication effectively and efficiently. It doesn't matter whether you're married or not, because the principle you can apply anywhere in life, even at work, even at home, even in life generally. It helps you to master Because once you understand yourself as a person, it is easy to understand your next person. So when I arrived there, I presented the principle of understanding the temperaments. The lady was very impressed. And I saw, in a way, the tears were running down because she said, that's the thing, because I lack understanding my husband. That's why now I'm in a mess of divorce. From there is when I saw the principle of these books. It does not matter wherever you are, whom, whatever you're doing, the principles are the same. You can apply. Communication is a tool for everything. The key for everything in life is the communication. The fact that I'm standing here in front of you is not because I'm here in a vacuum. It's because of one word, one key, communication.
Morning, church. I am Grace. I'm here to present the book Heart to Heart. Research has found out that lack of good communication leads to family breakdown, divorces, company closing down, leaders' mismanagement, and lack of interpersonal relationship. That is why the author, Nancy Van Pelt, compiled this book to combat the predicament of communication breakdown. She is a married woman who is qualified in counseling and writing. Book design. The book is durable and glossy to prevent damage, and is to clean when dirty. The title of the book is appealing. They're simple to understand. The picture suggests that people in their diversity can still cling one to another heartily through communication. Inside illustration, on page 19, we meet different kinds of temperaments. On page 126 and 127, we have 3 levels of communication showing that 7% the words we speak, 38% of facial expressions and tone of voice, 55% of reading in between lines. On page 120, we find a triangle which teaches us a good form of attaining successful communication, and that is involving God. Chapters of the book. The book consists of 8 interesting chapters which flow constructively in sequence and order of topics. Chapter 1 teaches good communication. Chapter 2 teaches the art of bonding. Chapter 3 teaches about caring and listening. Chapter 4 teaches the perfection of a dialogue. Chapter 5 teaches that to engage in a conflict is human and how to control anger. Chapter 6 teaches about how to build friendship and trust. Chapter 7 teaches intimacy. Chapter 8 teaches constant, continuous, and constructive communication. Practical benefits of this book. On completion of the book, you will start to communicate effectively at home with your spouse and children, relatives, neighbors, at your workplace, at church, and children will also benefit a great deal from reading this book. It will give you peace of mind, serenity, and less stress because it's a counselor in your home. Special quotation, conflict between 2 people who really care about one another does not have to be destructive. It means that you care about each other so much you will negotiate and deal with a problem until you find a mutual satisfying solution. Amen.
Hey, may you do it quickly? Don't you know that you are going to be doing press team? Oh, is that a knock?
Good morning, Mr. Nyambi.
How are you? How are you?
All right, and how are you?
Yes,
Glad
yes,
that I
yes,
met you
yes.
at home this morning.
Yes, but we are going. Mr. Ban.
Home Health Education Service.
All right, all right.
Recent time, we've been going round in the neighborhood
Mm.
where we are meeting people in the neighborhood,
Yes,
informing
yes.
them about good communication.
But time.
I'm sure you'd like also to hear more about it. So may I come in, please, so that we can discuss? Thank you.
No, you can come, but for a short time. For a short time. We are going to church now. You can take a seat.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
As already mentioned, Mr. Nyambi.
All right, Mr. Banda. Banda.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay,
You
Mr.
already
Banda.
know me. I'm coming from the Home Health Education Service.
Okay.
And as I've already said, we are talking about the importance of good communication.
Yes, yes.
We have visited several homes around already, and we thought it wise that we should come and see you again.
Okay.
And actually, we have some material which is going to be very helpful to you. As you are aware, according to the research that has been made by specialists, communication is a very important aspect of life. And talking, listening, these are arts which need to be learned.
Okay.
Therefore, I have here in my
But
hand.
let me just tell you this.
Yes,
We
please.
are, actually, we are going for church, and normally we are prayed for at church. Our major prophet is a very, very powerful anointed man of God.
One element
So-
you have mentioned, Mr. Nyambi, and I'm
Yes,
very grateful
yes.
about that, is that you're going to church, which means you fear God. And that's one element that this learning support material is going to help you with. Praying is communication. Therefore, this is just the right material that is going to help you.
All right, all right,
Now-
all right.
This material is written by a specialist by the name of Nancy Van Pelt,
All right.
who is a very renowned counselor. She has written books, over 200 books on counseling. She has been conducting a lot of counseling motivational presentations and all that. Now, this
Yes,
book,
like our major prophet.
yes,
Yes.
that's good. Now, this book actually, the material covers several aspects. It talks about, in communication, there is only 7% of communication in the words we speak to one another.
All right.
Very little communication. 38% has been found in the facial expression and tone of voice when you speak. This material tells you exactly how your tone should be when you speak.
All right.
And
all right.
then 55% has been found that people simply read between the lines.
Okay.
So this material is just the right one because it's going to help you in one or another. It talks about the pair bonding. The pair bonding, which starts from conception. The child bonds with the mother, later bonds with the father, later with siblings, and then the whole community. So this is just the right book. And
So
material,
you mean we need to read the book?
definitely. And you're going to
My
enjoy
challenge
reading.
is reading. But anyway,
This book, if you've never had an interest in reading, this book will actually change your mindset. Because the moment you hold it, you never put it down.
okay.
Now, I have an example that I would like to share with you that the book talks about. We come to page 18 and 19, where we find the reasons why people fail to communicate one with the other is because of not knowing each other. So this material tells you exactly the 4 components of humanity. Namely, there are those who are cholerics, others are melancholies, others are phlegmatics, while others are sanguines. I know you may not be aware about these terminologies. Please don't worry about that because the book itself will explain.
All right.
Now,
all right.
briefly, cholerics are those people who are born leaders. They don't like listening to others. They think they already know what to do. So you need to know how to relate to such people. Good enough, they do what they say they would do. They never fail. Then we have another group of phlegmatics. They like teasing other people. So when you relate to them, you talk to them, you need to know that as you talk to them, they'll be teasing you. Don't
Okay.
worry about that.
Okay.
That's how they are. Accept them for who they are. Then we have the sanguines. These are people who are blessed with talking. They start talking from morning up to evening. They are never short of words. So you need to know exactly how to relate to them as well. Then we have the melancholies. Melancholies are reserved people. They don't talk much. With them, they think before they act. And from the way I see your house, it's so well arranged. I wouldn't be surprised if you're an educator. Are you a teacher by profession?
Yes,
That's
yes.
right, I
I'm a
can see.
deputy. I'm a
Now,
deputy.
this book actually will help you how to know each student in your class.
All right.
You agree with me that when you're in class and you ask a question, there are those people, students who sit in front.
Yes.
You ask
yes.
a question, their hands are already up. They don't care whether they give you right or wrong answers. But there is a child at the back of the classroom. He never raises up his hand. But when you point at him, he always gives you the right answer. He's a melancholy.
I have one, yes.
Those
yes.
are melancholies. They think before they act.
You are
this
talking
book,
as if you know.
That's right. So that's why you need to have this book, because it's going to help you know how to relate with your students,
Really?
how to relate to your family as a family man, your children, as you have said, you have children. I wouldn't be surprised if you'd actually would like to have that.
Yes,
book.
even my boy does that.
As you are looking at the book, that manual needs to stay here. I have here purchase agreement in which we can actually agree as to how you can get that book. That book costs
Are you
only...
selling this?
Well, in a way, yes, we would say we are selling, but the cost itself just shows that we are giving it free.
Don't mind about costs.
That's right.
I'm a deputy principal myself.
And I know you can afford it. So while you are looking at it, Mr. Nyambi, I'll give you this purchase agreement. Just fill in the top part where you indicate your name and your telephone number and all that. I'll do the rest so that you can
Who is
get
this
it.
Nancy Van Pelt?
That Nancy Van Pelt is a special psychologist who has written more than 200 books,
Oh.
renowned throughout the world.
Why is it that I don't know? I know Joyce Meyer and the
I know. So the book has come at the right time because you
I
are going
think-
to know him now.
this one, I'll buy it, Mr. Banda.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to
Actually,
give
there
you-
are two ways that you can pay for it. You
Yes.
can either pay it cash now
I
and you
like
get
the
the
way
book.
it is written. It's too graphical
That's right.
and also very short.
I'm very
not
happy.
fond of reading.
I'm very happy to hear
Yes,
that.
I'm also on the computer, so reading is not my. I
Thank
get
you.
much of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think much of the stuff that is here, I already know it because I've got internet.
Oh,
But I'm going to buy it.
thank you very much.
Yes.
It is an additional information.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The
Thank
purchase
you.
agreement, you can fill it in. Oh, thank you. You've already filled it
Yes,
out. Now,
yes.
let me do the finishing part. Or you're going to pay it cash right away.
Yes.
God bless you. Mr. Nyambi, I'm very happy that you welcomed with both hands.
God bless you. God bless you. But I'll invite you to my church.
Before I go, just because of the interest you have, I'll leave you this book which says, When God Said Remember.
All
It
right.
says, free gift for you.
Okay, thank you.
Before
Thank
I
you.
go, do you have anybody around whom you would like me to go and meet? A friend, a brother, a relative, a referral, so that I can visit him also to go and show him that learning support material.
No, you can come to my school.
Okay.
I'm the deputy,
And I
so
can-
don't worry.
Thank you very much.
I'm the deputy.
And imagine only 15 of them give you references. By the end of the day, you have about 45 names you need to follow up, which you've been told to go to. Are we together, friends? And as you repeat that cycle, what tends to happen is that they tend to increase in number. So exponentially to a point that you can find that at the end of the month, you've got 200 names you need to follow up. So that's what I want to emphasize. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I see the hands up? Who's next? Can I see the hands? Oh, thank you. There's no one. Oh.
Good morning, children of God. Yeah, I like the last part of the canvasser. After having finished the purchasing, he gave the client a gift. And the gift is also a spiritual book. I liked it. It makes the person even to want more books because they know after getting, after buying, they'll also get another book. And from that spiritual book, they'll benefit from the truth that we teach. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, 2 points I'd like to make over the conversation there is that the purchase agreement, when the canvasser was giving the client the purchase agreement, then he can have his name, his contact number, so that in the future he can still go to the client and try to sell more books. And then the other one, when we meet clients like this who are talkative, then it's where we want to practice the listening skills which are in the book heart to heart. You give the client a chance to talk, finish, and then when he's done, you ask him, are you finished? And then he says, no, I'm finished. Then you continue. Then the client will make sure, will see that you do care about him.
Thank you.
So am I supposed to respond to that one? About the giving of chance to the client to speak. Okay. 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 Much as I agree with you, we have to be very cautious there, though. Because when you meet a sanguine, you give them that chance. They've taken the bow away from you.
Yes.
So you have to be tactfully help them, cut them short without annoying them. I think if you noticed very much, there were times when he was talking, I would literally cut him short, but I praised him for what he said. That was one way to keep him shut, because I want to finish what I came here for.
Thank you.
Hello? Okay, what I see here, our literature evangelist had courage. As our client was insisting, he don't have time, he's going to church. Our literature evangelist had a way to talk to him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Banda. You emphasize something that I used to omit when I do canvassing. Because some of us, when we go to a client, we approach a client, then he or she told me that, no, I'm not a reader. I ended up there. I will just say, thank you so much, then I leave the premises. So thank you very much, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, I agree with them. Yeah, actually, one of the beautiful things is, in as much as the client was a sanguine, you're able to identify the need of the client in terms of communication, because you use that as he is rushing to church. It's actually, they're going to pray. That's a means of communication. You use that angle as a way of hooking him so that we can talk. So that's beautiful, because sometimes sanguine is difficult really to cut off, but you use that in an element. So I like it very much.
Thanks very much.
Maybe, may I say something? Okay. Sometimes we don't take note of what our client says. I was saying I'm a deputy head, and the authority that we can get from any school is from the deputy head. I think that one you need to take note of and capitalize on that one. The reason why I was saying I'm a deputy head, I was trying to prick him to see an opportunity of getting to my school.
I just want to comment on that point. Is it off?
Yeah.
Okay, I noticed because the pastor was not listening well, he missed that point. That this is a deputy, and instead of selling one book, you can sell many books. Because he kept on trying to show who he is, I can buy. You know, those people come forward. You must allow them to feel we are great. I have the money. I am the boss. And I was asking, why did you wait until the end to close the sale? Because there's something called try or close, where I noticed that only came at the end. And I believe if he was not a literature evangelist, he may not have bought. Because some people, you need to probe them up to 7 times before they buy. You try to close the first time, they fail. You try again, they fail. Actually, most people buy only after the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th trial, most people. So if you don't do trial closes, where you could have sold 5 books, you sell 1 book. So I don't know whether the pastor has an explanation why there were no trial clauses.
Okay. Actually, to my experience, I've discovered that you only give trial clauses if you see this person is not interested. So trial clauses are a way to provoke him. Now, with my client here, I already saw that he was interested. So I thought it wise, this is nowhere I give a trial. It's just a matter of straightforward. So I went straight to the point, finish what I wanted, and give him. You saw that I didn't even ask him whether he was going to buy or not. That was a conviction to me already. I could see this one has already decided. So you are right to say we need to give trial clauses, but my experience has shown that I give trial clauses when I see this person is disinterested. I want to provoke him to want to buy. But it's a very important point. Trial clauses are very important. Thanks.
Heart to Heart, The Art of Communication.
This book, written by Nancy Van Pelt, author of several successful works on the family, teaches us a series of communication techniques that can be applied in interpersonal relationships, from our most intimate environment to the social world where we interact on a daily basis. Over 180 pages in length, this book provides the reader with a series of innovative techniques and strategies for evaluating his own communication habits, and a good method for understanding the needs of those that surround him.
The book has 8 chapters, in addition to an epilogue and a series of self-evaluation tests.
The first chapter describes the foundation for good communication. Especially today, in the communication age, lack of communication has become a fundamental problem in human relations. And to resolve it, it will be necessary to know and understand both ourselves and those who communicate with us.
The second chapter discusses pair bonding, a pathway to intimacy, and a basic human need. Family and marital ties are the basis of family and society. Therefore, connecting adequately should be a fundamental task in all processes of human growth and development.
Chapter 3 teaches us heart listening, a way to show you care, an activity that must be learned well. In all attempts at communication, we need to be able to correctly capture what people are trying to tell us with their words, attitudes, and even their gestures.
The next chapter shows us heart talk, how to talk to the one you love. Dialogue happens between 2 people and their circumstances. Therefore, the way we communicate is as important as the message that we want to transmit.
Chapter 5 discusses anger workout, coping with conflict. Conflicts are something very human, and if we wish to resolve them in a positive way, it will be necessary to know how to channel our anger so that it does not turn into resentment.
The next chapter explains how to be the best friends, the secrets of attaining intimacy, with no holds barred and with complete honesty. When a couple strives to deepen their marital intimacy, the joy that comes with it is one of the maximum heights attainable in this life.
The 7th chapter is dedicated to sexual intimacy. Sexuality is not something that is merely physical, and in order for it to develop in a balanced and lasting way, it needs to involve our body, mind, and spirit.
In the last chapter, we find everything we need to know to how to get the one you love talking to you. By taking the correct steps and relying on the advice of the best psychologist in history, good communication can be restored with our partner.
As a correlation of this work, the author offers us a series of self-evaluation tests. Through using them correctly, we can find out how much we know others and at what level we're capable of listening with interest and attentively, in order to understand the messages we are getting from them.
Heart to Heart, The Art of Communication, is a complete work that reveals strategies that have been shown to be the most effective for listening and being heard, to understand and to be understood.